So I want to thank each of you for taking the time out of a very busy day to come to our first introduction to cross-training. And I first want to say on behalf of the Commissioner, it is an honor to have all of you working together at the Department of Insurance. We both are honored to serve you and the citizens of North Carolina. So first we wanted to talk about a little bit of the Commissioner and the executive's decisions on, and to kind of give you an idea of what we are planning in our vision and how you fit into that. Does that sound good? Yes. Okay. So first of all, we really wanted to make sure that each of you kind of knew what we did on the 11th floor. And we kind of wanted to know more about what each of you do. So the cross-training is an opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. So I want to show you something. So mission statement. Does anybody know what a mission statement stands for? Yes, Mr. Woodard.
Sets forth what the goals and objectives of the organization are.
That's correct. So a mission statement is who you are and why you are here. How many of you, when you were a child, dreamed of being an insurance executive or an insurance agent? Or you dreamed in kindergarten that one of these days, surely you want to work for the Department of Insurance? Anyone? We had one earlier. One. So I often have stated that being in insurance is almost like being part of the misfits. How does that make you feel? Not too inspiring, right? But it's a great field, right? It has made it through the Great Depression. Most insurance companies that we have today have been there for more than 100 years. More than 100 years. What's happened in the past 100 years? 2 world wars, a Great Depression, and the influx of the economy going up and down. And have any of you ever been laid off in the insurance industry? Anyone in the insurance industry? The whole company? Okay, 1 or 2. But for the most part, the insurance industry is almost recession-proof, right? It's kind of cool. So why didn't we in kindergarten say, I'd love to be an insurance agent or work in the insurance industry? It's because our mission when we first start in school is totally different than it is when we get older. So what does that say about a mission statement? It's ever-changing, right? So a mission statement is who we are and why we are here. Do any of you have a personal mission statement of who you are and why you're here? Anyone? How many of you do goals at the end of the year going in for your New Year resolution, other than trying to lose 25 pounds? All right? Have you seen the gym in January? I know they all think it's like the best time of the year for their finances, right? Christmas, it's the retail store, and the gym is January. But every one of us should really have personal goals. I have 7 sets of personal goals. First one is my faith. The second one is my finances, because I'll make sure I can pay my bills. And they're really not in order. I have family, friends, all a category of itself. That what do I do to make sure my friends and family know that I care about them, right? One's education, one's music, and one is exercise, health and balance, and the other one's private. But you know, we all have to have that really in order to succeed, is to have goals. And you don't know where you're going unless you define where you're going. So how can we as an organization tell you where to go if we don't have a mission statement? So our mission statement is who we are and why we're here. And I say all that to you to say that if you don't personally have a mission statement, think about it. It's not too late. You can maybe put part of it on your epitaph. Okay, so mission statement is, this came on part from the Commissioner. So he said, I asked him, what is your vision and your mission statement? Who do you want the Department of Insurance to be and to represent? And he said, I wanted to do the following. He wants to foster superior, user-friendly service, courtesy, and respect in all 100 counties. And have you noticed the commissioner tries to know every single person's name, where you're from? He usually says hello to you, right? He's friendly. I think he actually is showing you what he wants because that's who he is. So this is the mission statement that we now have for the Department of Insurance, is to promote a stable insurance market through unbiased regulation and to protect the lives and property of every citizen in all 100 counties while fostering superior, user-friendly service, courtesy, and respect. Now, you all are going to say it with me. All right, you ready? All right, let's do it together. We'll kind of try to have a rhythm to it. I was always the one off. All right. To promote a stable insurance market through unbiased regulation and to protect the lives and property of every citizen in all 100 counties while fostering superior, user-friendly service, courtesy, and respect. See, I told you I never had good rhythm. So, the point there is that you all see that we, as executives, want to emulate that. We want you to see us that we are friendly and that we are also here to serve you. So, I hope that you will enjoy sharing the mission statement with others, because that's truly who we find that you are at the Department of Insurance. Okay, second thing is vision. Who knows what vision means and what it stands for in an organization? Mr. Woodard.
The ability to create ideas of how to go forward and to serve whatever customer base you're dealing with.
That's correct. So the vision is, so let's go back. Mission statement is who I am, why I'm here, and the vision statement is where am I going? So if you don't know where you're going, you're in trouble. So, and you know the world is really changing. Angela, you've seen a lot of changes, I'm sure, over the years of insurance working here, right? Right. And you see that technology is changing the world. I was telling the group earlier today that you can now buy RAMs for memory. The older I get, the more I like that. That they can actually, now scientists are saying that you can actually buy technology that will help you to put a chip in your body that we will actually be able to remember things by getting RAMs for your brain. Now, I don't know all I know about that, but we know that driverless cars are coming, right? They're already here. We know that the way that we're going to regulate insurance is going to be totally different. How are we going to regulate an industry that no longer bases it on driver's license, insurance points? Instead, in the rest of the world, they have little chips. Europe, China, they give you a little chip, you throw it on your car, and you pay for auto insurance based on how many miles you drive, how fast you drive, if you go to church, or you're at the bar at 2 a.m. in the morning. So it's going to be a whole new world. And you know what? The Department of Insurance, those of you that have been here for so long, we're going to have to study harder. We're going to have to be educated. It's going to be a different world in the next 20 years. And I'm saying to all of us that I love and we love education. And we want to really encourage you all to continue to sharpen your skills. So we're looking at different ways to educate, and one of these things is this cross-training is the beginning of it. So, this is the vision statement. In an ever-changing environment, it is the vision of the Department of Insurance to maintain the stabilization of the insurance industry in order to provide more products, competitive prices, and consumer protection. You know, I don't know how it's going to look when we start seeing policies that are going to be rated with a little chip. Because for me, being in the insurance industry for 27 years and a professor for 2 years at the university and studying research, I think it's going to be challenging to know if we are providing these things when the industry changes. So it's going to take everything I have within me to continue to stay up on the changing times. And I just want to say to all of you that I really want to encourage you to make sure that you're sharpening your skills. So, repeat after me with the vision statement. I would like for all of us to say the vision statement together. In an ever-changing environment, Thank you. You should have it memorized by now, right? Okay. In an ever-changing environment, it is the vision of the Department of Insurance to maintain the stabilization of the industry in order to provide more products, competitive prices, and consumer protection. So I hope you all like the vision statement. I don't have any candy to give to you. I like to throw candy at the students, but I don't have any right now. So I wanted to share with you, I like visual. I'm a visual learner, as Jackie knows. So I want to share with you this picture. And this is the best description I can give to you as to what it looks like, the Department of Insurance from the 11th floor. Do any of you know why this picture represents what I see from the 11th floor? No, I'm not crazy. It's because it's little islands, all on its own. When I look and hear from each of you, Jackie will come up and she'll tell me about market evaluation or finances or whatever. And she's telling me all this stuff. After 17 years of college, I thought I knew a lot. I've learned I don't know much of anything. I learned GAAP and I found out you all use SAP. I didn't even know what SAP was. I'm still trying to figure it out. So Jackie comes up and talks to me in the language of SAP. How many of you know what SAP is, other than tree sap? How many? Raise it high. Don't be timid with me. I'm up here embarrassing myself. Real high. Keep them up for a minute. I want to see. How many of you know SAP? Yeah, pretty good. So most of you work in SAP, right? How many of you know GAAP? How many of you don't know either and don't care? All right, so we have Van coming up and telling me really quickly all about Medicaid supplements, and what that means and what SHIP means to him, and his passion is so strong, he talks quicker than I do. But I've learned a lot from Van and all about SHIP. So he's got a whole different little island up there. And then Mike Williams, he's up talking about all this stuff at OSFM, and I walked in here and I said, well, who's OSFM? And he starts, they all tell you about all these different things. So you get the point. Lois, she's over there in the controller's office, and I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? Well, corporate world, you can do that. This is state government, Michelle. State government. It's so different, right? So we're all on islands, and these are the islands. These are the divisions, and this is the way you see it from the 11th floor. But all of you expect probably us to know all about each one of these little islands, and it's tough. Here's the divisions. So when we first came into the department, these are all the divisions. I was like, wow. How can we learn all of this, and how can you know all this? And really, how can you be effective if you don't even know what this organization does? Are we unified if you don't know all the things that we do? How many of you think there's 50 up there? How many think there are 30 up there? How many think there are 15 up there? By the time I get done, you're going to count them, all right? There are 25 different divisions. How many of you knew that we regulate car washes? Barry Smith, you've heard the commissioner tell about that. That's cheating. I'm teasing. How many know that we do ATM machines? How many of you know that we regulate ATM machines? Kelly, did you know we regulate ATM machines? Angela, did you know we regulated ATM machines? Van? How long have you worked here, Van?
7 years.
7 years. How long have you worked here, Angela?
18.
18 years. She didn't know we regulated ATM machines. That's astounding, isn't it? How many of you knew that well, you probably know this, regulate fireworks? All the OSF, they think that they really got one over on us, right? So we do a lot of unusual things. Car washes, ATM, fireworks, manufactured houses. Anything else I'm not thinking of that's kind of weird?
Agencies,
Sorry?
collection agencies.
Collection agencies, bail bondsmen, There's another really strange one, and I can't think of it. I said it earlier this morning. What was it? Anyone?
Continuing care facility.
Continuing care facilities. Rental storage units. I didn't know we did that. Megan, do you remember any others that we're doing? Motor clubs. Anyone else? PEOs. That's it. Car washes. There's some others. Car seats. I think we regulate everything in the state. That's what I tell. People say, "What do you guys do over there?" We do everything. But the issue is that so many of us don't realize that we're all separated by so many different things. And what this cross-training, the purpose of the cross-training is to do just exactly what we just did, is allow you opportunity to make us united. Because you see, the world is united on the left, but on the right, it's all these little islands. And not only is it to understand the material, but it's also to understand more about each other. I'm going to embarrass Jackie. How many of you knew that she's getting embarrassed? Her face is turning red. She's a professional water skier. How many of you knew that she was a professional water skier? Not too many of you. How many knew that Liz Wall upstairs was an operatic singer? She went to graduate school at Indiana University, which is, believe it or not, the #1 school of music in the world, over Juilliard. So most people don't know that. Corey plays the guitar, Bob plays the trumpet, the commissioner was in the trombone army band. I love embarrassing folks. But the thing is, we have so much talent, and yet I'm not sure that we really know the person that we are sitting beside. And so I really wanted to make us more unified, because I think the Department of Insurance is one of the most amazing places I have ever worked, with great people. But the bad thing, and the one area I think that we could really do better on, is becoming more unified. And the one problem I see is the C word. Does anybody know what that stands for? Communication. Most marriages, most friendships are ruined over the C word. I was saying earlier, women speak 30,000 words a day. Don't tell anybody. But men speak 15,000 words a day, on average. So men, you learn something about your wives. They're all the same.
I already knew that.
They talk a lot. Now, I talk 60,000 words a day. So communication is one of the most difficult situations for people, relationships, the workplace, everything. So we're going to try to improve on that. We have senior staff meetings where I've asked everybody to communicate, because that's the only way we'll make it. And you know something else that's astounding, I'm almost done with my soapbox, is that it's those in the world that are different that are impactful in life. I said earlier, how many times did Abraham Lincoln run for president? I said, more than the commissioner, because he ran for insurance commissioner. Anybody know? 7 times. 7 times. I always told my students at school, you'll learn a lot more from your failures than you ever will from your successes. So expect an F one time in my class. And that will be the test and the subject by which you will learn the most. It's not your successes in life that you learn from. It's your failures. And Fs are the best thing to get in the classroom. Yeah, at least once. You don't want a total F. Our weaknesses, if you want to know someone's strengths, look at their weaknesses. And if you want to know someone's weaknesses, if you want to know their strengths, look at their weaknesses. And if you want to know the other, it's weakness to strength, strength to weakness. I always ask every employee when I first hire them, what is your strength? Megan, if I ask you, what is your strength? You don't have to share. But I want you to think about it. I want each of you to think about it. Think about your strength. For a moment, just contemplate, act like we're not here, act like we're at the beach. It's a beautiful day. The seagulls are flying, and you can hear them, and the ocean is making its sound. It's reflective. I know you men are not into this, but women really are. What is your greatest strength? And within finding your great strength, you will find your great weakness. Promise you. And I say this to you with your employees or your colleagues or your co-workers. If you look at them, you'll say, you know what? She's a really nice person. She talks a lot. She talks a whole lot. But you know what? She's friendly. She's gregarious. So her strength is her weakness, right? And that person, man, they're really quiet. They're almost weird, they're so quiet. But everybody has a strength and a weakness. And that's another thing we need to work at, is trying to understand how to work with one another. So the people that are different in life are usually the leaders. Martin Luther King, what was amazing about him? He was different. And who do we remember? We remember Martin Luther King, right? We remember Abraham Lincoln. And we remember those folks that stood out. Steve Jobs. What was his branding logo? Anybody know? I know you all know. Apple, but what did they say about Apple? Okay, Rob, help him out.
Think different.
Think different. So you know the little kid in school that was always the weird one? That was like the Steve Jobs. That was probably the Abraham Lincoln. It's to think different and be creative. And I'm saying that to say to you, if your colleague's a little weird, just say, let's think different. Steve Jobs sitting beside of me. It's okay. Those kind of things make impactful, it helps. And you know, I'm saying to you to say this, that it's about unity. Unity. And you know, I often think of inspirational writers. How many of you like Stephen Covey? Okay, tell me, I'm almost finished, but tell me the famous statement that he always says, seek ye first.
Understand, and then be understood.
Seek ye first to understand. And then what, Jackie?
Then be understood.
And then be understood. I write this stuff all in my journals. I read this stuff every morning. Because I know when I'm dealing with folks, man, it's hard. It's the hardest thing, to seek ye first to understand and then to be understood. And those will help us in the workplace, those kind of things. So, I know you're like, wow, is this what we're going to do? Mike, you look excited. But I want all of you right now to close your eyes, and I can see whether you're closing your eyes. I want you all to close your eyes. I want you all to close your eyes. All close your eyes. Please close your eyes. Some of you still aren't closing your eyes. I'll write you out. I'm teasing. Just close your eyes. And I want to say, I want you to think now that you cannot hear, you cannot speak, and you cannot see. How does that feel? It's a different feeling, isn't it? Well, Helen Keller said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. You can open your eyes. Helen Keller could not see, she could not hear, she could not speak. But wow, what an impact she made. And even though you work for the Department of Insurance and you just think it's that agency that I just thought you were, you guys, we do a lot here. And you make a huge difference. And I want you to know it is a real honor to work with you. And I really mean that, because I love teaching my little kiddies at the university. But I will tell you that I am just as honored to serve with you. Each and every single one of you, and there's not a one of you that the commissioner and I and executives on the 11th floor, I promise you, we care about you. And we want to encourage you to learn everything you can to sharpen your skills and to serve the citizens of North Carolina with everything within you, because you are special. And I am so thankful that you're willing to come today and be a part of this new cross-training. And I thank you.